Hello. How's everybody feeling today? Yeah, I love that we have a packed house on a Sunday. Yeah.
Were any of you guys here at any of our other panels?
Well, they came back. We were that interested.
Yeah, and we're super different than we were yesterday. This is actually the meme panel, where we're just mean.
Yeah.
That's the Sunday meme panel.
But the good news is Janet has a whole new routine planned for today. New jokes and everything. It's gonna be awesome. And
But very mean.
I'll be tap dancing. No, just kidding.
So if you haven't been to a panel with us, certainly you've probably been to a panel, and I think what these guys do, did you have questions, you guys, or did you just sit in that over seat? This is the way you did it. See, it's also
questions are over here?
Yep.
God.
So that's how we'll do it. We'll just we'll take your questions and we'll answer them.
And we will answer them. It will be amazing.
An equation.
Shall we rock and roll? Alright. Everybody give yourselves a big hand. You guys all look amazing. Your costumes. Thank you for showing up here. And what is your name?
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm here on behalf of my friend Carlos, actually, who's head over heels for the show.
Shout out, Carlos.
Yo, Carlos.
He wanted me to ask you guys, what do you think in the series Korra and Asami started falling for each other?
The racetrack. That's the seed planted.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, one of the things I love about their relationship is that, like, when I was a teenager, especially, but even still true now, I get crushes on people, and I don't necessarily know at the beginning whether it's a romantic crush or just like an enthusiasm, admiration / intimidation crush. So I feel like it's pretty obvious when you sort of look back the way that Korra felt very intimidated and kind of admiring of Asami.
Totally, likewise as
So
well.
yeah. So it's hard. So I think that's what's kind of cool about it, is that I don't know that there's ever that moment. Sometimes there is, and those of you who had this happen know. Sometimes there's a moment where you realize kind of lightning bolt, and sometimes there is this sort of gradual thing that grows that before you know it, it's like a full, kind of blossom love. So I don't know what happened. I love the racetrack answer.
Kind of subconscious.
I like the racetrack.
Gradual.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's where it happened.
Yeah. Carlos, wish you were here.
Alright, Carlos.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. We like when you say your name too.
John.
You said that so you didn't say Jeanette.
Yes, sorry.
You can say it. You can say Jeanette de Varney. This accent for the rest of the time. You're going to call me that.
So, my question is on behalf of my friend Mike, who felt that with, especially the events of season 2 and 3, leading up to season 4, that they were going to end the show with Korra dying. He felt that that was going to be like a foundation, because he felt like the Avatar wasn't needed anymore, that she was irrelevant. If that was the direction in which the show went, how do you think that would have affected the rest of the Avatar universe?
Oh wow, I mean that's an intense question. I've never been asked that before. First of all, your friend Mike, just kidding. For a friend, I don't know. Okay, Mike. No, I always say this, but I would have accepted any outcome if that's what Mike and Brian saw fit in terms of storytelling. And I have to say, I mean, I don't know, not to say that the Avatar isn't extremely important, because of course he or she is, but what I saw from the other characters and what they experienced in their arc, and how much Korra ended up being to lean on her friends and loved ones anyway, I feel like something amazing would have happened, and some kind of new other way of kind of healing and saving the world would have come out of, Bolin and Mako and Asami and Tenzin and his family, and just there was so much great, maybe just like a giant heart stone comes out of Naga, and everyone's like, what? But I trust them, and I totally see what Mike's saying, but I think everybody still would have come out on top, you know, because it's just a strong, amazing. That's what was so great to me about those books is it showed us nothing if not you can't accomplish anything by yourself, even if you're the Avatar. And I love that message. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Hi.
I have a question. I'm wondering if they were to create a live-action version of
Wait, Valerie, right?
that.
Yeah, okay, good.
Oh, you remember me?
Wow, you guys know the movie.
If they were to create a live-action version of the Korra,
It's a very dangerous thing to say. Very dangerous thing to say. Just tread carefully, that's all we're saying.
what actor or actress would you want to play the character that you voiced?
Oh, that's a great question.
That is a good
Do you guys know?
It definitely wouldn't be me. That's for sure.
First thought is
I have to think about that for a second.
like, that is a great question. Oh my gosh.
Olivia Thirlby, because she's so hot. Yeah.
I gotta think about it. I honestly have to think about it. That's tough. Because it has to be somebody else. Do you have someone in mind?
Oh, I changed my mind. It is me.
I want to be in it.
Yeah, fair enough. I need to think about it.
I volunteer as tribute.
I know that's also what's running through my mind is like all these amazing cosplayers I meet who look exactly like Korra from all the way from book 1 to book 4 versions. I'd be hard pressed to think of an actress who would do it better than somebody who's been doing it the last 4 years, who made their own costume, who bends, who poses bending, who gets the show, who loves the show. What person is going to come in and be like, oh, by the way, I already have that whole foundation that a really great cosplayer does, so maybe that's my answer.
I agree.
Just audition like 50 cosplayers and then they could cast them out.
Right. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Daniel.
Hey.
Hey, Daniel.
My question is for all three of you. It is, at what point did you realize the effect you were having on the LGBT community, and how did that make you feel?
I think it's awesome. I mean, I didn't really get it until later on, but I'm slow that way. But I think it's amazing. I mean, I'm really getting it now as I'm meeting a lot of people today. I think it's tremendous, and I'm glad to be part of it.
I think I first realized it after the finale aired. I mean, I knew that it was a cool, interesting thing we were doing, but I didn't realize how big it would be. There was an article in Vanity Fair that I read that really kind of hit me. I was like, our show is in Vanity Fair, and they're saying how, how different it is and how cool it is for standing up for these things.
Wow.
When I read that, I was like, okay, like that, I feel so cool.
That's awesome.
I would say that I feel like I really early on, but that's because I started going to conventions like immediately. I just had never done cons before. All the stuff I've done, it's never necessarily merited an invitation to an amazing place like this. And so when I started getting those invitations, not to SDCC or the New York Comic Con, places that are sort of now run by companies and studios and merchandise and all that, but to the small cons, and I mean smaller than this. I've been in cons where I meet 25 people and that's it, because it's the very first year they're doing it. But I started doing that right away because I am not as famous and successful as the two people sitting next to me. And so they were always working. No, seriously, like he produces music and she was on Falling Skies, so it's and I was like, I'm gonna go. And so I was able to to go to these cons, and from the very beginning, because people were shipping Korra, not just Korra, but people were shipping male characters together and talking about the original series and shipping same-sex characters. I thought, oh, this is where I want to be. I want to be with people who are already thinking that way without being told it's okay by some bigger thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like it started with you, and that's not a surprise.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ian? glasses.
There she is.
Yes, you are, Sonia.
A little louder.
There were more after series. You guys like to see, like let's say not next to series at all, like maybe like the exploration of one or like something new and maybe people out or something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Evil avatar. Huh. I think that's a great idea.
You guys want
It's scary for things to get that wrong. For the avatar straight up evil. That's a really scary, great idea.
I just want to see Mako like full of joy and laughter. He's just like all of a sudden he's just this jovial, ha ha ha, everything rolls off his back. That's what I want to see.
I would also love to see that. I said yesterday I'd love to see a whole season of Avatar on, and I still feel that way.
Yeah. Anything with the past Avatar world.
And anything with spirits, because
that would be
Basically anything with Mike and Brian.
Yeah.
More spirit centric, or like in the spirit world centric book or something.
Yeah, those guys are cute. Most of them.
Thank you. Hey.
Okay, I have a question for you that's been like plaguing my mind.
What's your name?
Tatiana.
Tatiana.
So I've been a huge fan of the Avatar series, but one of the questions is always come to mind. How come the rich people only get names? You know, like in last names.
Oh, interesting.
Mm.
This is a Mike and Brian for sure.
I never even noticed that.
Well, what about
Shocking.
Mako and Bolin's family in the Earth Kingdom? They're not very rich and they have last names, don't they? Or am I wrong? They don't? Oh, they
No.
don't? I just made that up. I just completely made that up. Wow.
Isn't that
I'm
interesting?
glad you brought that up, actually. That's a great,
Yeah.
great thing
I
to...
have no, I don't know, other than that, I guess in the back of my mind, I don't know if I want to go down this road, and I certainly am not speaking for the actual reason of why Mike and Brian did it, or if any of you noticed, but the fact that what you said, you sort of brought up the idea that that seems like it maybe has more weight and bearing in a world where, that's what's being paid attention to, whereas the sort of spiritual side, it's not really where you come from in that way and how much money you have in that way. It's kind of like, it's like if I go to a cocktail party, I don't know, but I don't know anybody who's like rich and comes from old money or whatever. But it's that sort of like that joke where some two like rich people at a party and you're like, "Hi, I'm John Barrymore," and they're like, "Of the Long Island Barrymores," and it's like, oh, that means something. That has weight to it. Whereas I want to go to a party where like I don't care who you are, where you came from, who are you as a person. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. Does that make sense? I don't know though. I don't know.
Janet is a lot of fun at a party.
Hi, I'm Janet. Don't tell me your last name.
Hey there.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hey Sam.
David, how much have you influenced Mako, and how have you been influenced by the characters Mako?
I don't know how much I've influenced Mako. I don't know. That would be a Mike and Brian question. I mean, I would like to think that maybe something I did inspired something they wrote, but I just, tried. I just kind of got into the character. I respect the character. I respect how committed he is and how much he actually cares and loves Korra, and that he really loves his family, and I respect who he is. But at the end of the day, I just kind of, I let the writers do what they do, and I do what I do, and that's how it goes.
How much have you been influenced? Second part of the question. How much have you been influenced by the character?
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, I respect the character, and I love his character. I mean, I think he's got a strong character, strong being, and I respect that he cares so much for his brother and family, and obviously, even though things didn't work out with Korra, he still has a lot of love and he wants to protect her. So, I mean, those are all qualities that I strive to have, that I don't always have, but thank you.
What a beautiful costume.
just, yeah, and then give it a little step in, I know. Awesome.
So I'm at the beginning of the series, and I just want to know what the differences are between the two of them. And I just feel like because I'm at the beginning, so I know where you have places where there is no power. That's just the scariest thing. They kind of touch on it in the first one.
Okay, so you're saying what differences do we see between The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra? Okay, sure.
Differences in, and like just.
Do you like the tone or just like the theme of it?
I mean, for me, what comes to mind first is definitely the times. Korra seems so much more modern and industrialized as a society.
As you can see from these amazing goggles, Seychelle, one of many of us who enjoys the steampunk of it all. We love the city and that.
Yeah.
I mean, and definitely Korra had Aang ran away from the Avatar title at first, and he kind of had to catch up, and Korra kind of came into it maybe the more traditional way, where they did the test, and she was ready, and
Maybe too ready.
Yeah, maybe too ready. I don't know. That's all I got right now on the top of my head.
That's all true, yeah. And the pace, obviously, the guys really, we have sort of inside baseball information, right? So, but you guys do too, because you guys know what Mike and Brian said, that they really wanted to do a very tight 4 books. They wanted it to be kind of a breakneck speed. Whereas I think the first series was a little more relaxed and playful, sometimes, which is great. I would have loved to see more of that before, but I also totally get that tonally they wanted something very different. Those guys are so brilliant. They have to exercise their brains. You know what I mean? So it's like anything that I would think like, oh, why didn't they do that again? I think in their minds are like, we did that. You know what I mean? So they're always trying to stay close to the feel of the universe and the where it came from, and to honor you guys and your love of it, but also exercise those gigantic brains and talent that they have. And so they're always looking to think, how do we think outside of this, but keep it within the same world? Does that make sense?
Right, totally.
True. Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
Hey, Jenna.
Hi, Jenna.
My question for all of you, and have you seen Project Boys Bend? And if you have, what's your favorite line or two from it?
I have not. I'm sorry.
I haven't seen it either.
I've seen it, but I don't know if I have a favorite line. It definitely is awesome and makes me laugh a ton. I can't think of anything specific that overall I was just like, this is rad. I think there was some stuff, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there some like Korra Janora stuff on there? I think. Maybe I'm totally just imagining what I wish would have been too, but what about you? What was yours?
There you go.
I love their parodies on the characters in the whole thing.
Oh, I need to see this
You
now.
have to see this.
Where do you find it? Just online?
It's on YouTube and video.
And it's called?
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Project Boys Bend.
Yeah.
Everybody look it up.
Yeah. Anybody here participate in it themselves?
Just watch it.
Yeah? Awesome.
I'm a fan too.
Love it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, you have to let us know if you like it. Yeah, it's really funny. I know.
I'm Jerome, and this is from the president of the Manga Association Club from the Art Institute of Sacramento.
Nice.
This is actually a question for you, Janet. Who would win an inspiring match, Korra or Aang?
I know. It feels like that's like, what's gonna happen? But I always say because at the end of the day, like as much as she was so, stubborn and strong-willed, like when I think about her first reaction to seeing him and connecting with him, it was like immediate humble, immediate awe, immediate deference. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's a difference between Aang and Tenzin, you know what I'm saying? Like she definitely had that kind of father figure in him and butted up against that, but I don't think she felt that way about the idea of Aang at all when it came down to brass tacks. And I honestly believe, as stubborn as she is, that she would just like lay down. I think she would just be like, I'm not even gonna do this, you're Aang. So I think she would just like forfeit.
Wow.
I really do.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Stephanie, and Seychelle has spoke to you yesterday. And we talked to you about how their parents lose emotional by watching their art, songs art for season 4. And so my question to you guys is that have you guys ever vicariously released your emotions or method acted through your voice acting? And in particular, is there an art that you found really profound that means a lot to you throughout the whole work of Korra? That's all.
That's a great question.
I need to think for like 2 seconds
Yeah.
to like span.
I will just say, I'll just quickly list to what these guys think, but I will say that from the very beginning, her patience has been a really important lesson for me. Anybody who's heard a panel I've done before, or I'm sure it's just kind of out there in general, and what I write on a lot of your posters is just be the leaf. I would also be the poorest airbender. That would be the last thing that I would try to master. I get real impatient. It's hard for me to lie down and get a massage because I'm like, I feel like there's somewhere I should be.
Yeah.
So that was really important for me. I say be the leaf to myself. I have to do that when I'm in traffic. I have to do that when I'm like on my bike, trying to get to the top of the hill, wanting to give up, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it is embarrassing how much I access Korra. It really is. Like, I'm in no way as strong or fierce as she is, but I used her as inspiration. I have been in a situation where I've been like, I want to give up, and I know that she wouldn't do that. So in small ways with Be the Leaf, and in big ways, and certainly with what she went through in terms of her mobility and her flashbacks and all of that stuff has deep resonance for me. So I got very lucky in that way that I was able to kind of exercise those demons through the work.
I think I remember when Asami she visited her father in jail. Is that where they play? I'm sorry that I don't remember this exactly. Where they played Pie Show. I love that when I read it, and it meant a lot to me. I mean, I have a very good relationship with my dad, but just because I'm so close with my dad, and I've gotten so much from him in life, like musically, and he's an activist, and I admire that. And I knew that Asami was really close to her father at the beginning of the series, so her coming back and taking that step forward, like I felt her strength through that, and it made me emotional, and so that was, I don't know, I put my love for my parents was brewing in there.
For me, just the show in general, like, inspires me, and just the themes of the show and the lessons of the show, and just connection to spirit and meditation and all those things. It just reminds me of to better myself and to grow as a person. So the show itself for me has just been inspiring on a whole.
Totally.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Chris.
Yes,
Chris.
I have a question for all of you guys. We all like Korra, but I want to know how you guys felt about the other ships like Jinora and Tide, or Mako, or Opal.
Wait, what were the last two?
Mako and
Wuko. Wuko?
I went Dante, someone sent a picture of Mako, and I just watched his face be like,
That's cool. That's cool. I don't think that could ever happen. Maybe, yeah, of course it could. I love that. I love that. Wu and Zuko, right? Put it together. Wu and Mako. Oh, I thought it was Wu and Zuko. That's why I was like,
I was sitting over here all innocent. I didn't know I had anything to do with
I've had
it.
many people say Muko as Zuko and Wu. And then they read in to see
Wuko.
what he says. Yeah. I love that.
That takes it to
I
a
think
whole
that's
other realm.
hilarious and wonderful.
yeah. I think Mako and Wu are almost like Aang and Zuko in a way. Maybe Wu is like, okay, Wu is 100% more annoying than Aang. But that's funny. Thank you for enlightening.
Thank you.
My name is George.
Hey, George.
Hey, George.
did it feel to be a part of a show with so many strong female characters like Korra, Asami, Baewon, Denora, Vera, and I mean I thought it was just awesome that the one that transitioned into show Korra, who to get into the spirit world, was little Denora. I just wanted to talk about that.
Best.
That's the best.
It's an honor. It's really cool, and especially I love that you're a guy coming up and asking that question too. That's super cool. And yeah, it's neat. I think there's like I don't know. They're all strong, but they're all super different too. We're all just like parts of the same. I don't know. I'm imagining like a very jagged crystal, and we're all like little sides of it.
I would say that Avatar folks are in there too. Katara, Toph, and it's not the only time that Mike and Brian have created these amazing women to be inspired by.
Yeah, I think I watched Garden State with and this is like kind of off topic, but with Natalie Portman and Zach. Right, yeah, but I remember I watched like the actor thing, and she was like, it was so refreshing to read a script with a girl who had, just like all these dimensions to her, and it just like was so much easier to get into and play, and any kind of character, whatever gender it is, but with dimensions and a life, and a story is just so, it's so helpful for the actors.
Mike and Brian really got in touch with their feminine side. You're right. They did a good job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Amanda. Hi. My question is for Seychelle. And my question is, what was it like being Princess Hewitt in the last Airbender movie? Because I know most Avatar fans agree that it didn't actually exist because of global.
We choose to.
What it felt like being Princess Hewitt?
It was, that was my first big film, so it was kind of a dream come true for me when we were shooting it. And to play a princess that went through, I don't know, at least 2 hours of hair and makeup, but I'd come out looking like it was growing out of my head. It was so fun, and to play a princess, of course, so someone who's regal, but someone who's very humble and down to earth, was a really cool combination in the character, and she was so ethereal. There's so many cool things about that character, even though she was in the series for so little, but I had so much to work with, and the sets we worked on were so massive. You didn't even see it on film, but there were, on sets, there would be like spoons made with real seashells. Like, it was so detailed, and I would just walk around. I didn't even have to pretend, like so many times when you're on set, you have to like suspend your belief, and create imagery for yourself, but I really didn't have to do any of that. It was really, really, really wonderful. It's too bad that, it didn't kind of reach the quality of the first show, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.